In LA this week, it's goodbye Carmageddon and hello Carvana. 70 continuous miles of carpool lane now run through the Southland.
The LA City Council unanimously approves a plan to create a city health commission, buckling to pressure from the AIDS Healthcare Foundation to better address health issues within city limits, such as here in Skid Row. I'm Reyes with the story next.
Good news for LA County beachgoers as Heal the Bay releases its water quality report. I'm Yana Kay. The details next.
Hello and welcome to LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ellen Chang. Well, the so-called Carmageddon is finally over. The stretch of the 405 freeway HOV project near Getty Center recently opened and ahead of schedule. As Tara Gibson tells us, the 405 now boasts the longest continuous carpool lane in the country.
Traffic runs more smoothly these days now that the 405 freeway has opened up its carpool lanes running from South Orange County all the way to North San Fernando Valley here in LA, a total of 70 miles.
The 405 northbound carpool lane is finally open. From the project, as was mentioned, that brought you Carmageddon, Jamzilla, Ramp Jam, we have something that looks today like Carvana. The 405 project is absolutely critical to our quality of life and our economy.
The 405 freeway project has been in the works since 2009. Mayor Garcetti says when residents on the west side asked for a timely completion, he made it his mission once he was elected.
For drivers and people living here on the west side, this can't come soon enough, which is why I'm so proud that our work to solve delay-causing problems means this project is getting done months earlier.
On this day, city officials joined transit officials to open the northbound carpool lane through the Sepulveda Pass. Metro Board Chair Diane Dubois says getting here took a toll.
Building this project certainly has not been easy. To say that this project has been one of the most ambitious and challenging freeway construction projects ever undertaken in Los Angeles County would be an understatement.
Transit officials say the carpool lanes will cut commuters' travel time by at least 10 minutes, just in the 10-mile stretch through the Sepulveda Pass. I'm Tara Gibson, reporting for LA This Week.
About 300,000 vehicles travel across the 405 freeway every day. That number is set to increase to 447,000 by the year 2025. And in This Week in Tweets, Councilman Mike Bonin posted a few photos on his Twitter account celebrating the 405 carpool lane. This one's a selfie taken at Getty Center with fellow Councilmember Paul Koretz and the busy 405 down below. And this one thanks the hardworking staffers who helped move the 405 project along these last few years. Councilman Bonin also retweeted this photo posted by City Attorney Mike Fewer, with the City Attorney and Bonin flanking Representative Howard Berman, who's showing a 4 with his fingers, LA County Supervisor Xavier Slavsky with an O, and Mayor Eric Garcetti holding out a 5 in celebration of the completion of the 405 HOV project. It's not a city health department, but LA City leaders have voted in favor of creating a city-run health commission, one that's expected to better monitor illnesses within the city of Los Angeles. Gil Reyes reports.
Tabulate the vote.
15 ayes.
It's unanimous. After months of contentious talks with the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, LA City leaders approved the creation of a city health commission. This new advisory panel will tackle health issues specifically within LA City limits, from Chatsworth to San Pedro.
The council people will have appointees, and their jobs will be to monitor what's going on in the county health department.
The LA County Department of Public Health will continue to serve LA City residents, but with a twist. They'll receive help from a 15-member panel to represent each of the city's 15 districts. This panel will keep tabs on illnesses within their communities and make yearly recommendations to county health officials. Supporters of this plan had gathered enough signatures to put the issue before voters, but LA City leaders approved it early. LA City Council President Herb Wesson says it all came down to money. Rather than have the city pay $4 million to put the issue on the November ballot, the LA City Council decided to pass the measure outright. Supporters hope it leads to improved county care in what many say are neglected city communities like downtown Skid Row.
We've had a tenfold increase in the number of syphilis cases since 2000. We feel that that's something that the county health department has handled in a very bad way, in a very poor fashion. We have a major issue with TB in Los Angeles.
That's AIDS Healthcare Foundation President Michael Weinstein speaking to LA This Week last year, when his group led an effort to create a Los Angeles City Health Department because of poor county care. That effort failed when local leaders blocked it in court. But with this new plan, both sides have reached a compromise that they hope will lead to better county care within city limits. In Skid Row, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
LA City Council President Herb Wesson expects additional costs in hiring members of this new City Health Commission, but not as much as placing the measure on the ballot for a countywide vote. The AIDS Healthcare Foundation hopes to have commission members hired and in place within 3 months. A new summer campaign led by Councilmember Gil Cedillo aims to end the homeless problem in MacArthur Park. As Anna Marcos explains, tamales and motel vouchers are all part of the plan.
After serving more than 100 Mama's Hot Tamale breakfasts to the homeless, there's not much left but a little rice at the bottom of the pan. You're looking at a new effort by Councilmember Gil Cedillo and the Westlake Coalition, made up of community groups, to stamp out homelessness in MacArthur Park. All summer, agencies and service providers will gather here once a month to help the homeless in one place.
This coalition's the first step toward addressing the pervasive problem of homelessness, an economic problem, a social problem, but most importantly for all of us here, a moral problem.
Homeless people can come here and get help with everything from drug and mental health counseling to general relief, food stamps, vouchers for motels, and housing services.
Wow, it didn't take much time for them to provide me with like a week's voucher in a hotel room, and a lot of people not on drugs, they're just homeless, can't afford to pay for housing, such as myself, you know what I mean? So yeah, this is a blessing for me today.
Organizers will spread the word about the homeless fairs about a week before each monthly event with flyers and person-to-person contact.
To be able to show the homeless that there are lots of resources available to them. Lots of times they don't know.
The hope here is that the dozens of homeless in MacArthur Park will find a path to jobs and a place of their own in the next few months. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
Some of the groups and organizations taking part include the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, Pacific Clinics, People Assisting the Homeless, and the Department of Recreation and Parks. You've likely heard of an Amber Alert, but what about a Medina Alert? Tara Gibson reports on a tool city leaders hope will help catch suspects in hit-and-run crimes.
We've seen since 2007 nearly 1,000 severe hit-and-run accidents or fatalities here in the city of Los Angeles. That's roughly 100 a year. With that, it's too many. One is too many.
Councilman Mitchell Englander speaks to city council members about putting pressure on state lawmakers in formulating a bill for the Medina Alert, similar to the Amber Alert, issued in the case of a missing person. This alert would ask motorists to be on the lookout for suspects' vehicles in hit-and-run cases.
What we're trying to do is utilize technology that we already have in place today. Utilize Nixle systems, utilize Amber Alert systems, cell phone alerting systems.
Councilman Englander says hit-and-runs are cowardly acts.
When you hit someone and leave and flee the scene and don't stop to render aid, don't call 911. When you do that, we will no longer in the city call that an accident. It is a crime.
The hit-and-run alert system started in Denver, Colorado, and has been a success, with 13 hit-and-run apprehensions and convictions. Councilmember Joe Buscaino agrees with Councilman Englander. He says since Los Angeles has a reputation of being the hit-and-run capital in the country, something clearly needs to be done.
Enough is enough, and if this bill in Sacramento is going to do just that, then we need to call upon all cities across California to adopt this resolution.
The council unanimously voted to urge state lawmakers to adopt the Medina Alert. I'm Tara Gibson, reporting for LA This Week.
As it does every year, the country took time out this past Memorial Day to remember America's fallen war heroes. Anna Marcos takes us to the 25th annual Canoga Park Memorial Day Parade.
About the only thing not decked out in red, white, and blue was this beautiful prancing horse. Well, there was the tiny cowboy, among others. But almost everywhere you looked, flag colors were the theme of the day. People in patriotic hues found a million ways to wave the flag and honor our war vets on this Memorial Day, the 25th annual celebration for the Canoga Park Parade. Mayor Eric Garcetti showed his red, white, and blue fervor with a tie.
We're remembering the fallen today. We're remembering those heroes who gave us our freedom.
Wesley Spottiswoode came out with 30 friends and family members, a yearly tradition.
This is my 19th time and I'm 19 years old. Same spot every single year to honor our veterans.
A contingent of soldiers honored some of the oldest veterans of all, the Buffalo Soldiers, which made up the first African-American cavalry to fight for the U.S. Army in 1866.
We're out here at the biggest Memorial Day parade in the entire city of Los Angeles, Canoga Park West Hills Memorial Day. I'm just so proud of all the veterans that have come out and all the community volunteers.
I'm riding here with a veteran named Fred Flores, known a long time, and we're just waving everybody, saying hello to everybody.
Red, white, and blue may have been popular for the day, but the miniature ponies, the tiny martial arts pros, and the Mexican gauchos all help prove that U.S. patriotism comes in all shapes, sizes, and colors. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
And over in San Pedro, hundreds of folks paid their respects by visiting the USS Iowa on Memorial Day. Yana Kay has more.
As a symbol of America's strength and power, the USS Iowa in San Pedro stands tall and proud, but also serves as a reminder of veterans who perished fighting for our freedoms.
We not only recognize those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our country, but we also give thanks to the family members of those loved ones who were left behind.
With its powerful 16-inch guns on display, the USS Iowa was the main attraction as hundreds came to visit the battleship during the second annual Memorial Day tribute.
To really acknowledge the sacrifice of not only our generations and all the generations before us that support the American way of life and how we got to this point, because without their sacrifice, we wouldn't be here today.
During the ceremony, officials including Councilmember Joe Buscaino, Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti, and Congresswoman Janice Hahn dedicated a wreath in honor of America's armed services.
Let us recommit as Americans to not leave one veteran behind when they come home.
Mayor Eric Garcetti also reaffirmed his commitment to returning veterans.
And those who are coming home don't wind up taking their lives, don't wind up on our streets, don't wind up in lines of unemployment, but that they will wind up as Americans. That each one of us has that responsibility not just to greet them with a hug and a smile, but with a job, with the training, with the counseling, with the housing that they deserve.
A pledge to give back to those who continue to serve and sacrifice. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
Yana's report touched on the mayor's commitment to assisting veterans transitioning from military to civilian life. Gil Reyes has more on how the mayor hopes to accomplish that.
Veterans from all branches of the U.S. Armed Forces gathered at City Hall to network and learn tips on how to succeed outside military life.
A lot of information if they just want to go ahead and start up a company, supportive housing, mental health services, and just to get them on the road to the next level.
We're at LA Mayor Eric Garcetti's Veterans Business Summit, where one of the tips is a one-stop shopping website to help veterans find employment, housing, also medical and mental health services. We'll provide that information at the end of the story. The mayor, a lieutenant in the Naval Reserves, also wants to thank other men and women who've served our country.
Not just a hug, not just a welcome home, but policies to support them as they go through their lives transitioning back and making sure that they become the warriors to strengthen our economy, our communities, our city, and our country.
LA City probably has more veterans in this city than any other city in the nation.
An estimated 120,000 U.S. veterans live in the L.A. area. The mayor recently launched his Military Veterans Advisory Council. It consists of LA City residents who've either prominently served or had family members serve in the U.S. military. The group is expected to help LA City leaders create new policies benefiting veterans. The mayor is expected to be progressive in his approach, partnering with state and federal governments, also nonprofits, to increase opportunities for those who've served. At City Hall, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
You can learn more about the Mayor's Veterans Advisory Council with information on a host of services for local veterans by visiting lamayor.org/vets. The death of a police officer nearly 35 years ago still haunts Police Chief Charlie Beck and others who worked with him. And now the police station where that officer served is helping keep his memory alive with a special tribute. It's a moment in his police career Los Angeles Police Chief Charlie Beck has relived time and time again, involving the death of a fellow officer.
Jim's car cleared the intersection with us right behind it. It was struck by a Cadillac that was southbound that had failed to stop for the red light.
On a warm summer day on August 2nd, 1979, James Choquette, a 10-year police veteran, was responding to a robbery radio call when his car was struck by a drunk driver. Chief Beck, at the time assigned to the southeast area as a patrol sergeant, was in the car behind him.
And I went to Jim and tried to get him out of the car, but was unsuccessful because the car was so mangled. And I will never forget him looking at me and saying, "Oh God," and passing on.
Nearly 35 years later, Beck chokes back emotions as the LAPD Southeast Area Police Station on 108th Street unveils a bench engraved with Officer James Choquette's name.
Jim and I have 3 grandsons together, and so it's nice to be able to share this part of it with them because they never met him.
They may not have ever met him, but Choquette's grandchildren, along with colleagues, friends, and family, now have a place to come where they can continue to honor his memory. An adjacent engraved brick area constructed by Southeast LAPD cadets honors past and current officers, volunteers, and others who have contributed to the South Los Angeles community. Families affected by the fire that destroyed the San Fernando Valley Rescue Mission in early May are getting a helping hand, thanks to a donation effort led by the LA Dodgers, the LA Dodgers Foundation, and Councilmember Paul Krikorian. Yana Kay reports.
These ladies are dropping off some much-needed items to benefit the families of San Fernando Valley Rescue Mission, which suffered a devastating fire on May 3rd at its location in North Hollywood.
We brought women clothes, men clothes, kids clothes, shampoo, soaps.
15 families were affected by the fire. The mission's emergency shelter, clothing warehouse, and food pantry were damaged. And to get them back on their feet, the LA Dodgers, the Los Angeles Dodgers Foundation, and Los Angeles City Council member Paul Krikorian's office held this donation event at Dodger Stadium. The Fire Family Foundation, which helps families and fire victims in need, donated $2,000 for the cause.
We help fire victims, and there were certainly a number of fire victims that were harmed in this situation. And the rescue mission does such wonderful work. We want to support those ongoing efforts.
Founded 16 years ago, the mission launched its family shelter in 2002 to provide emergency housing and other services to families in need. On average, half of the guests in the shelter are children under the age of 12, so any items for children are greatly needed.
Come out to our thrift stores, shop, all these goods go into our thrift stores to go back into our programs to help homeless families and homeless individuals in LA.
Councilmember Paul Krikorian, along with the Los Angeles Dodgers, delivered the donations from this event to the mission's thrift store in Sun Valley. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
You can still make a donation. Go to rescuethemission.org for information. And next week, we take you to a donation drive for the rescue mission at City Hall, hosted by city leaders. Councilmember Bernard Parks and the Los Angeles Neighborhood Initiative team up to fix the worst sidewalks in South LA. Janine Robinson reports.
About 40% of the city sidewalks are in disrepair. We found a way to create a system to fix these sidewalks at what we think is a fraction of the cost rather than having the city do the work.
District 8 and Lanny are repairing 130 of the worst sidewalks in the district, and the work is starting right outside the home of a longtime resident who's been concerned about her safety and that of her neighbors.
I was afraid to walk on the sidewalk, so I started going out my back door and coming in my back door. Because these steps, I was afraid to walk on these steps, and I was afraid for other people.
Repairing sidewalks, pruning roots, replacing uplifted slabs. It's not sexy, it's not glossy, there's nothing terribly exciting about that in a headline, but it's what people really need to improve the quality of their day-to-day life.
The first 45 sidewalks are set to be repaired immediately in this first round of repairs, and Councilmember Parks hopes to repair over 400 sidewalks over the next year.
Basically, the money that we're using is called AB 1290 money, which is money that comes from property tax, and we'll continue to use it for sidewalks, and we're going to use about 150,000 of it very shortly to trim another 1,000 trees above the city contract.
I'm very happy because something's going to be done.
I'm Janine Robinson in South LA, reporting for LA This Week.
Just to put things in perspective, the city has 11,000 miles of sidewalk. The LA River is once again open for recreational activities. One councilman joins in the fight to save 2 West Side businesses from being evicted. And one new pocket park honors the work of a former council member. These stories and more in City Beat. Council members Mitch O'Farrell and Nuri Martinez, whose districts include the Los Angeles River, have announced that the city, in partnership with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and the Mountains Recreation and Conservation Authority, has launched the LA River Recreation Zone. The Mountain Recreation and Conservation Authority says anyone can bring their kayak or other non-motorized navigable boat to either the Elysian Valley River Recreation Zone or the Sepulveda Basin River Recreation Zone from sunrise to sunset every day. For more information, go to lariverrecreation.org. The Ed P. Reyes Greenway on Humboldt Street and Avenue 19 in Lincoln Heights is now open. The green space is named after former District 1 councilmember Ed Reyes, who championed making LA River a usable waterway and its surroundings into park space and bike paths. The Greenway, which is being maintained by the LA Bureau of Sanitation, has 2 entrances, walking paths, benches, native plants, and a bike rack, to name just a few features. There is also a storm drain that helps purify stormwater before it enters the LA River. You also get a nice view of the Gold Line train passing by. After 40 years at the location, Pepe's Galley and Phil Yoakum's Bowling Supply are facing eviction after a new corporation assumed ownership of the Mar Vista bowling alley at Venice and Grandview Boulevards. Support for the businesses grew as word of the eviction notices spread.
It's one of those places, every neighborhood has a place that is sort of, the heartbeat of the community, where people go, where they hang out, that's just sort of part of the community. It's sort of iconic.
Councilmember Mike Bonin even joined residents outside the businesses on a recent Sunday in protest in hopes of saving them from being shuttered. The Los Angeles Police Academy has graduated 29 officers at its most recent graduation ceremony. 25 graduates from Class 1213 will serve as LAPD officers. 2 will serve as officers for Los Angeles World Airports, and 2 more as University of Southern California public safety officers.
I made sure I dedicated myself in the studies, working out, and when the time came, I applied, and thank God I'm here.
I came from the fire service. Now I'm in the police service, and I love them both, so I'm here to serve.
And of the 25 officers going to LAPD, 20 are male and 5 are female. If you're planning to hit the beach this summer, we've got some good news. A new report shows big improvements in the water quality of local beaches. Yana Kay has more.
California beaches are some of the most beautiful in the country, and now they also offer some of the cleanest water on the West Coast. According to a new report by the environmental group Heal the Bay, the water quality at local Los Angeles beaches has greatly improved, including iconic Venice Beach and Oceanside at Cabrillo Beach in San Pedro.
Millions of folks who come to LA beaches that they can feel safe and going in the water.
But despite the improvements, the county still has many beaches suffering from overall poor water quality, such as the harbor side of LA's Cabrillo Beach, which came in 4th on the report's beach bummer list.
By assigning an A through F grade based on bacteria pollution, we're giving beachgoers the critical tool to make an informed decision about when and where they go to the beach.
The report shows that 90% of beaches in LA County got A's and B's during the dry summer months of 2013, mostly due to the record low rainfall, which reduces the amount of polluted water that flows into the ocean. This is Dockweiler State Beach in Playa del Rey. Now, it's one of 8 LA County beaches that made Heal the Bay's honor roll, meaning they got A's across the board for their water quality.
That's fantastic. Just fantastic. I don't know a kid that doesn't enjoy a day at the beach.
Officials say the improved water quality is also due to more LA residents capturing and reusing rainwater for irrigation and other uses. Efforts that are helping make a big difference for our beaches. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
Additional beach grades can be found by going to beachreportcard.org. In this week's list of things to do, the Echo Park Farmers Market, a ceremony commemorating the 70th anniversary of D-Day, and dance performances at the park. A staple in the Echo Park neighborhood, the Echo Park Farmers Market continues to grow in popularity because of the ever-growing number of farmers and producers who participate on a weekly basis. Established in 2006, the Echo Park Farmers Market is open every Friday, rain or shine, from 3 to 7 p.m. and is held at parking lot 663 on Logan Street, just south of Sunset Boulevard. The next farmers market will be on Friday, June 6th. You'll get a great selection of produce plus locally produced jams and jellies, honey, and fresh farm-grown flowers. For details, go to cla.org. On Saturday, June 7th, join the celebration of the 70th anniversary of D-Day at Berth 49, adjacent to the historic SS Lane Victory in San Pedro. The World War II D-Day landings in Normandy, France represented the largest military operation in history. It was the beginning of the end of Nazi tyranny in Europe. A special tent ceremony for invited guests and other dignitaries will be held at 1 p.m. A number of exhibits will be available to view. A flyby of vintage aircraft is also planned. Free parking at Berth 49 can be accessed at 6th or 9th Street and Harbor Boulevard. For details, go to lawaterfront.org. Grand Park Downtown is partnering with Dance Camera West as part of a week-long dance and dance film festival. And on Saturday, June 7th from 6 to 11 p.m., park-goers can catch performances by the LA Contemporary Dance Company that will extend to the nooks and crannies of the park. The evening also features a presentation of the Lester Horton Awards and special screenings of the short film Beneath Our Own Immensity and the full-length documentary Miss Hill, Making Dance Matter. Grand Park is located at 200 North Grand Avenue. Go to grandparkla.org for details. And that's a look at some upcoming things to do. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ellen Chang. A reminder that you could catch us online at lacitybeat.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.